Today I'm going to be talking about Talavera Pottery. It's a famous form of art that has an influence all over Mexico, specifically Puebla, Mexico, and other foreign countries are seen to contribute to the designs that are made. For example, it's influenced by Italian, Spanish, Islamic, and indigenous Mexican. It originated from a ceramic tradition at Talavera de la Reina in Spain. It's a common form of art, and it also includes the architecture buildings that surround the city, and usually there are Talavera tiles around, and as you can see on the top right image is an example, and this is actually a place called Uriarte Talavera, which is in Puebla, that I believe you could actually visit, and it's a factory that still stands today. Talavera began to be created around the 16th century, and Puebla started using the name after several changes to the pottery laws in 1682. And Talavera ceramics does go back to the colonial days. It was a product of trade in those days, and so it symbolizes Puebla. It has special qualities that make it stand out, and there's a process of making the products, and tourism is effective in selling these products. The symbolism, colors, and materials of a piece of art tend to tell us a great deal about the culture that created it. So for production, there's been decades of Poblanos have produced different products, and there are many different forms of designs out there, and it's what makes them unique. For example, planters, plates, stoops, pots, jars, etc., and many other dishes that are out there. The image on the right is an example of how an outline is painted in a bowl. So they use that as a guide to get that perfect finish. So for the production process, the first step is usually by mixing two types of clays, or sometimes only one, and they're mixed by foot, but I believe majority mix with their hands. But when you do it by foot, it tends to take out the excessiveness of the materials out. And then the second step is shaping them by hand or a mold, or by putting it on a pottery wheel. As you can see in the image on the top, that person is using a little wheel that's kind of like a plate, but it spins, and it helps them get that shape perfectly. And then the third step is the firing process. Then the fourth step, usually you gotta choose the color, but usually the dark and light blue, black, orange, green, yellow, and brown tend to be associated with the designs. Then they are usually dipped in those colored glazes and or are painted with the brushes to get those little tiny designs and get them perfectly in with the colored glaze. And then they are refired to obtain that glossy finish and color. So the first example is a table setting with the kaleidoscope pattern in the entry of Uriarte, which was the place that I was talking about earlier. And then the second image is a Talavera ware with the medallon marisco design, which is also another common design that some products have. And then the third one is how they look like when they're rolled out of the kiln after cooling from a firing. I actually have two products here that are considered Talavera pottery, which I had no clue until I did my research. And I also have this one. They're both vases, and as you can see, it's bright colored scheme that some tend to have as well. In conclusion, art from the past can tell us a lot about what life was like, and I do recommend buying these products because they are unique, and there are many shapes, designs, and products out there that are very useful, such as the plates, the cups, the vases, and stuff. And the steps of how it's made is very essential overall. And the designs tend to be symmetrical, but there's other ones that aren't. which make them more stand out. Talavera is Puebla's form of identity, and it's an example of the role of craft and how it shapes its culture and heritage. And these are my references.